All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Jacking Around podcast. It is Tuesday, February 7th, and we're coming at you a little late. One of the people, not going to name any names, Nick, wasn't here yesterday, so we weren't able to record last night, so we kind of had to move everything a day back. But it's all good now. We're here. I'm here with Kyle, Jacob, and Nick per usual. So the first thing we're going to hop right into is just a little bit about the NFL. I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but getting closer to game time, new lines are coming out, different like trash talk and everything. I know the media conferences have started this week, and Nick Sirianni had a very interesting question he got asked the other day, which was weird. I don't know who let EDP into the media days, but
Okay.
uh, yeah. The latest line I saw was the Eagles minus 1.5. So I think that's about the same as it was last week when we talked. But I'll let Jacob go ahead and start us off. What do you have to think, or what do you have to say? I should say.
I mean, I'm still Chiefs. Nothing's changed for me. I guess kind of what you were pointing out about the whole media day. It's always interesting. Some people that are legit journalists, and then other people that ask some weird stuff. I know one that I saw that I actually I did like is a guy on TikTok. I believe his name is Theo Ash. Theo something like that. He he had actually a pretty good, kind of funny question, not worded as weird as the one I know you're gonna bring up, but he
Yeah.
was asking Sirianni if he's gonna let any of his players stay out there during halftime and watch the halftime show. And he was like, no, not at all. He's like, I'm
Loved it.
sure Rihanna's gonna give a great show, but no. And then he's like, well, what if it was Eminem? He's like, still no. So I think that's a good approach by Sirianni. Most of the time, I can't stand Sirianni, but
Yeah,
um,
I'm not a huge Sirianni fan, but that's strictly business. I like that.
yeah,
It's the Super Bowl.
yeah. I
We
think
got
the competitive Sirianni is one of those guys where if you're not an Eagles fan, you don't like him, but if you're an Eagles fan, you love him.
oh,
But
absolutely.
outside of, I guess, games being on, he seemed like a decent dude or a nice guy. So uh, yeah, I'm still all the way Chiefs. Um, not even because they beat the Niners, the Eagles beat the Niners. So it's not just because I'm just out of spite, but I'm still Chiefs.
Yeah, same here. I'm still Chiefs all the way. I think they're gonna win. I think they'll probably win by 3-7 would be my guess.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. I think they're gonna struggle a little bit with the secondary against the Eagles' passing attack. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna have to do a little more with his arm than he had to do. I guess 2 weeks ago now, because I mean he threw 121 yards and half of it came on the first drive of the game. I think he's gonna have to do a little more. Chiefs have a little bit better of a rush defense. Well, I don't know if they have a better rush defense, but they're healthier. Yeah. What do you think, Kyle?
I think I'm gonna stick with what I kind of said last week, where kind of got some hate from I think everybody in here when I called the Eagles maybe a little bit of an underdog.
Uh,
They had that underdog mentality. I
your
still think the Eagles
favorite?
win. They're our favorite, yes. Doesn't mean they don't have the underdog mentality. Uh, as to your point, Colton, about Hurts having to throw the ball, I think he does. I think he returned. I want to say it was the last week of the season after that shoulder injury. Um, and then I think I'm sure that's still kind of lingering around. And I think not having to throw that much against the 49ers could really benefit them coming into this game with 2 weeks of rest and whatnot. And then speaking of injuries, I mean, how was Mahomes in that ankle? That was a big late hit he took at the end of the game there. And you kind of saw he got up there and kind of
Mm-hmm.
wobbling, limping a little bit, thanks to the Texas player, former
Oh,
Texas player, excuse me. Uh, so these 2 weeks are really big for him too, to come out and heal up, get some extra shots in wherever he can in that ankle, and we'll see what they can do. But I think I'll roll with Philly still.
yeah, yeah. Good, good,
Indeed.
good process of thinking there. Fuck you for taking the shot at Osai. Great guy.
Have to. So I don't doubt that, no
I
doubt about that. But just a bonehead
played he
mistake that.
played a great
A great
game.
game.
Made a bad mistake there at the end, but definitely a bonehead play. What do you think, Nick? What you got for us?
I'm gonna go Chiefs, man. Yeah, I mean his Patty's ankle sprain, but like Kyle said, dude, they're gonna shoot him up with like 50,000 painkillers, and I think he'll be fine. It's a Super Bowl; he's gonna play. And one thing to note, though, Nicole Hardman is not playing, but Jerick McKinnon is playing. So they lost a
Hmm.
playmaker, but they gained one. So like, eh. And I haven't seen anything about like Juju or who's the other receiver that I don't know, some other receiver that was hurt.
Valdez
Um,
Scantling, or no, it
yeah,
was
I don't.
Kadarius Tony. It was Kadarius
Yeah,
Tony.
Oh,
Kadarius.
okay, okay. I
Tony is
saw
in.
Kadarius
He said
Tony
he's gonna
was
play.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So as of right now, I mean they got enough playmakers, so like I think they're still good.
yeah.
I'm gonna go Chiefs, man.
Getting Jarick back was a kind of a big deal. There at the end of the season, I mean, he had back to back like games where he had over like it was like over 60 receiving yards and two receiving touchdowns, like in
Dude, yeah,
each
he's
game.
goaded
Like
receiving.
he was yeah. I mean, those little he can take a short little pass out of the backfield, look like prime Jamal Charles out there.
I
But
think the Chiefs did a pretty good job of last week or the week before, whatever week it was. Of they don't really need those players to play
yeah,
good and win. So
They just need the
You
rest,
just
you
need
know.
Mahomes.
just need the
yeah, you
rest.
need a little home field cooking there, you know. I did see something that on Reddit, this guy has predicted the last 15 Super Bowls, and he has been wrong the last 15 Super Bowls. That's like an unbelievable streak, and he picked the Eagles. So,
I think that's Kyle's
will
burner
it?
actually.
Yeah, it's probably it kind of equals up with all the bets that I kind of play sometimes. So like for whatever. So
I don't know if you
watch
guys
yourself.
saw, but there's like a picture that came out. It showed like the game, like the score. It was
Oh
like
yeah,
34 Chiefs, 37 Eagles.
yep. Script
I
got
mean, I
leaked.
know it's all like, just conspiracies and fake, but like I'm curious, man. What if it does turn out to be that score, then is it a coincidence?
Let's kind of talk about
It's
that too. I
Scripted?
mean, do you think the NFL is scripted?
I don't know, man.
too. I mean,
I don't think so.
Arian Foster was definitely just joking around. Like that's the whole point of that podcast with macrodosing with PFT and him. But I mean, I to a certain extent, they definitely want storylines, and I think we talked about this a little bit last week. But I will say the memes that have came out of the whole scripted deal just top tier, have been amazing. I've laughed my ass off at so many of them. What do you think, Jacob? What's your take on scripted or not?
Scripted? I wouldn't say scripted, but like you're saying, I think it's heavily influenced.
Oh yeah,
It's always interesting to see a game that gets either no calls or is ref very tight for the first 3 quarters of the game, and then all of a sudden it goes the opposite way at the end, and then usually the team that benefits has a top 5 player or a top 3 quarterback, um, and either a diehard fan base or a massive fan base, one of the two. I guess that's pretty much everything though. If you make it to the Super Bowl, but yeah, you got Mahomes gets some nice treatment. Brady got good treatment for his entire career. I mean, I was trying to think of a Jets quarterback, but I have to go back to like 1907 for that. um,
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Hmm. Did you hear your goat Joe Montana said go with Jimmy G?
uh, well, he's already gone. He's already gone.
The dementia's kicking in,
Jimmy's.
CTE's kicking in.
He's gone.
Was I tripping or did Shanahan come out and say that
Yeah, he
Jimmy
did.
G's gone?
He did.
That
Yeah, because
what
I
a
mean,
move
and
by by Kyle.
I was seeing some reports that it kind of stems back to the beginning of this season, or before this season, I should say. They came out and said he was going to get surgery done, and so like the initial report was always going to get traded, and then all of a sudden he's get surgery done, and now he can't he can't get traded, or at least nobody would want him. You could trade him, but it'd be for a 7th round pick and a bag of pennies or something. So
Hey, the Texans can give that to you.
hey, I'll take
I
I'll
wouldn't
take
mind
that
Jimmy G.
I'll take that 1st rounder.
Yeah, good luck getting that,
Any of
bud.
them. Any of them.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I'll go ahead. We'll take McCaffrey for that one. We'll take Ayuk for that one.
Okay.
Fred Warner. I wouldn't be surprised if he just when he hits free agency, whenever that is, if he just comes back to D'Amico and
I don't think
leads the
so.
Texans to a
I
ship.
definitely
So
think the Texans are going to get quite a few Niners. I think you're going to get
Yeah.
Aziz Al-Shire, our linebacker. I think he's going. Jimmy Ward's a definite possibility. Um, other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who wants to go to Houston?
Speaking of D'Amico, Kyle, what is your since we've talked last, the Texans have officially hired D'Amico. What is your take on that? Being the Texans fan in here,
all for it, baby. Let's ride.
yeah,
D'Amico, former Texans player, star linebacker. If I'm not mistaken, I think he played his entire career with Houston. We kind of got some rumblings about that once he canceled his interviews with I think it was the Broncos, and I'm not sure who the other team was, but I think it was the Colts or somewhere around there. No, it wasn't the Colts. Who was it? It was the Broncos and somebody.
Cardinals, maybe.
Um, yeah, somebody. And so, but when it came down to it, after they hired him, they said, after that, it was he was it was in the ball was in the Texans' court, so they made it happen. Super happy. I think we're in the process of bringing over the 49ers passing game coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, on the offensive side. So pretty excited about that. Now it's just kind of about where he attacks in the draft.
What do you think about his whole approach on the quarterback? You think he was just um, being kind of a nice guy, not completely throwing Davis
Absolutely.
out? Okay. That's what I'm thinking
Absolutely.
too.
Never named him by name. Just said, "Hey, we have a quarterback in the group. We have three. We got Kyle Allen, who's done well in the NFL. Not great, he's not a starter, but he did okay for the Redskins whenever they played for a little bit. Jeff Driscoll is, I mean, Jeff Driscoll, I guess. And you have Davis Mills, who is not, in my opinion, a franchise quarterback, unless he kind of reminds me of Daniel Jones whenever he first kind of came into the league. A lot of people doubted him. Um, Kind of has a similar play style as Daniel Jones, I would say too. Can run the ball, but I just don't think he pans out, especially in Houston. Best of luck to him somewhere if he goes somewhere else. But I'm sticking to my guns, man. It's Bryce Young at two.
There you go.
There's no other questions. I've seen rumblings of Derek Carr. Please do not give me a Carr in a Texans uniform again. I might actually become a Cowboys fan, and that is the worst team. I hate that team the most in the NFL. So Carr 2.0, no go. But
I mean,
I'm
Carr
all in for
1.0
Bryce
was
Young, man.
pretty damn good. He just kind of got mishandled.
yeah,
When you're
Agree with
getting
that.
blown up every game, it's kind of hard to
Sure,
produce. Yeah.
sure. And you waste the careers of Andre Johnson
Matt
and
Shaw.
co. So Matt Shaw, well, would Matt Shaw really have succeeded elsewhere? Matt Shaw was
Mm,
the
maybe.
definition of mediocrity. So
So JJ
I didn't
Watt.
mind it
Yeah,
though.
It's
I
not
didn't
that
mind
much
it.
there. So never mind.
Believe it or not, dude, those were the years growing up that I enjoyed Texans football the most. Was going 8-8 or 7-9. Those were the best years of Texans football, in my opinion. So, well, obviously, we've only been around since 2000. So,
I I hear the Texans, and the only thing I can think about, like the first memory that comes to mind, is Andre Johnson beating the shit out of Cortland Finnegan.
Portland,
It's
Finnegan, yeah,
like a core memory, just pulling his helmet off and just beating the shit out of my midfield. It was awesome.
yeah, that was a great memory. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to get this draft process going and kind of see where we end up.
Yeah, I like the hire of D'Amico. I think he knocked it out of the park, like you said. I think he's going to be a good pickup. So, Jacob, I know obviously you lose your DC. You just hired a new DC. What are your thoughts on the new DC that y'all just hired?
Honestly, haven't done a whole lot of research on him. Haven't, but if I if I remember correctly, he did fill in for Matt Rule whenever Rule got fired out in Carolina. So Steve Wilkes. I mean, if Kyle Shanahan approved it and John Lynch approved it, I can't doubt him. Honestly, all of our
Yeah, y'all have a
past defensive coordinators have been great. They all get hired off to be head coaches elsewhere, and then I mean Salah's doing pretty well. He's You can tell he's getting the Jets right. It seems they just are
I mean
missing
that Jet
one valuable
yeah.
piece, just like the Niners are. Um, Quarterback. That's really
Jets
it.
defense Jets defense was nice this year. I mean,
Yep.
nice. And I mean, like you said, if Shanahan and Lynch approved it, I mean, y'all have been known to hit on coordinators pretty frequently. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not. It's if I was you, I wouldn't have really anything to worry about. I mean, the
Nah,
defense is already good. But
facts.
now on to Cowboys. Fired Kellen Moore. I mean, I don't. I mean, he definitely didn't have great play calls at times. I mean, I definitely don't agree with on like a 4th and 5, every single player running a comeback. I mean, that doesn't seem like a recipe for success. But the guy that they hired on, his track record is not the best. So I mean, I don't really know what to think. I We've had this conversation about the Cowboys and what the situation they're in. I just don't know. But hey, we're gonna find out, man. So Nick, you think after Rogers comes back after his 4 days of darkness and ketamine or whatever he's taking, you think he's gonna say, "Yeah, I want to go to the Jets"?
DMT, man.
Oh, DMT.
Yeah,
Isn't that what that
DMT's
is? Isn't that ketamine?
no, ketamine's different, man.
Not at all.
Isn't
Oh,
ketamine horse tranquilizer?
maybe. I
I'll take
don't
your
know.
I
word
don't know.
for it.
Anyway, besides the
Yeah.
fucking
Anyway, his
substance,
ayahuasca trip that he's
there it is,
taking.
ayahuasca. I don't know, man. I hope so. I want a Rod.
Yeah, is that
I want
out
him
of all the
bad,
free agent quarterbacks that you could have, like Derek Carr or A Rod, who's your pick? You want A Rod?
dude. Realistically, a Rod, but I don't like. Maybe not realistically, but like
How about
I think
I
it could
love an
happen. A
idea to
Rod.
you? Okay.
What? Don't say Jimmy
You
G.
you make a trade for Aaron Rodgers, or you make a trade for
Okay.
Jimmy Garoppolo and include Sauce Gardner in the
Oh.
package.
Oh.
Winner.
Oh
Oh.
wow,
I
That's
think
a
the
What
pretty
a
winner's
good one.
Jimmy.
clown!
That's all I gotta say.
That's a
What a
pretty good one,
clown!
man. That's a good
So,
one.
are you
I
would you rather
honestly, if I was
take
the GM,
Rodgers or Lamar?
dude, Lamar, of course. But Lamar, I don't. He's like they're involving him in finding an OC. I think they're gonna re-sign him. If they don't, they're idiots. I don't know why you
yeah,
wouldn't.
very good.
I agree.
If not, shit, hell yeah, dude. Throw the money at Lamar. Give him the fucking key to the city, the Empire State Building. I don't know. Just give him whatever he wants. And yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I've given up hope. I'm kind of just I'm just
Existing.
here, man.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I'm just here,
I
man.
understand. I
We're here
understand.
for you, bud.
I'm
I'm
kind of
just
right there in the. Honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I've kind of just given up on the Cowboys at this point. I mean, yeah, I'm a fan. I mean, but it's not looking good, bro. But I mean, I don't know. Also, I am a Saints fan as well, and uh, Drew
That's in
Brees
Derek
was my
Carr.
favorite player growing up. So I've been a Saints fan ever since Drew went to the Saints 13 years ago today. Won the Super Bowl. Tracy Porter hit him with the eh, after he picked off Peyton Manning, took it to the house. What a game! Never forget the balls on Sean Payton for calling the onside kick to start the second half, and then we got it. I mean, just what a game! And it was a great game.
Speaking
I'm
of
very.
Sean Payton,
I was gonna transition
yeah.
that.
I mean, go ahead.
Like Nick said, speaking of Sean Payton, took the head coaching job with the Broncos. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Saints are gonna get a first round pick out of that. Fine with me. Sucks he's not gonna be the coach of the Saints anymore, but at least we're getting something in return. But I wanted to say the one of the more interesting things about the hire of Sean is um, he said that Russell Wilson will no longer be allowed to have personal coaches in the building. He said that will not go on while I'm here. What do y'all think about that? Because I know Brady had some personal coaches whenever he was in New England. I mean, what
Russell
do
Wilson's
we?
not Tom Brady though. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
That's the yep,
Dude,
I
like
agree.
everything that keeps coming out, it's like making me think he's the biggest douchebag. Like he had his own office, his own park, like stuff like that.
I
I think
Yeah,
agree.
those are
I
honestly
mean,
the only two things. But like, if that's true, that's so douchey, man. That is so douchey.
I heard that he gave out his agent's phone number to the
Yes.
team, and they said, if you have any questions for me, if you want to reach out to me, you hit my agent first, and
if
then
that's
reach out to
oh
me.
man, if that's true, I would not want to play for Broncos. I wouldn't. Nah, that'd steer me clear.
I just
I
wouldn't want to
mean,
play for Russell
Sean.
Wilson.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, Sean Payton's a great head coach, Super Bowl champ. Had some of the best offenses that I've ever watched with the Saints. Sad we could never get a defense to help out with that, and we got some bad calls. Not going to go into that. Too much trauma from that. Um,
Do you
and
ever see
I
the
think
bad
he's.
calls as payback for the Bounty Gate?
Healthy
You mean
Gate,
the
bro.
bounty
Trying
gate
to
that the
hurt people.
Vikings also had in the same exact game that they also got busted for?
They're just not good
Oh
enough to
wait,
win,
no.
though. Except
Oh
for
wait,
this year.
no. There wasn't. Yeah.
The Vikings were
I
just
mean,
better
as
at
much
it.
as much.
They
I
didn't get
mean, they
caught as soon,
obviously
you know.
weren't. I mean, they literally got caught the same year, and they got penalties from it too. I mean, I don't. I literally don't know what the point you're trying to make here.
I'm just
I
Just
kidding.
poking
mean,
fun at your bounty gate.
I mean, it got a Super Bowl. I mean, I sound like Kyle now, being an
Wow.
Astros
No,
fan.
no, that's why I'm not. I'm not talking about
Yep.
cheating. I'm just staying
Yep.
quiet.
I mean, I'm not condoning it. I mean, I didn't know that it was happening whenever I was cheering on the championship.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So,
And yeah, I'm not
To an
going to
extent.
get into that. But
so if your favorite teams are being the Cowboys and the Saints, boom, Super Bowl matchup. You have to root for one. Or I guess they can't
You
be. Well, can
can't.
it be?
they
NFC
can't. They're both
Championship.
in the.
NFC Championship. Excuse me. Boom. Who you rooting for? You have
See,
to choose one.
that's a tough one because I grew up a Cowboys fan. My dad is a Cowboys fan. He kind of brainwashed and indoctrinated me into being a Cowboys fan. I
Sorry.
kind of went off on my own, and yeah, thank you. I kind of went off on my own with the Saints. Love the Saints, but I mean, if we're talking NFC Championship, gun to my head, I have to go with the Cowboys. They were the first, and I mean, I love them both equally. But if someone has to make it, I've
Obviously
seen
not.
the Saints win a championship in my lifetime. I would want nothing more, so I could talk so much shit to everybody. The Cowboys even fucking make it to one. So
Yeah,
that's
bold
it's a
assessment of
hard
making it to
answer.
the
It,
championship.
Hang the
yeah,
banner.
what was the fucking point of the question, Jacob?
Hang the banner.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. You're a Texans fan.
Oh, okay, buddy.
Hey, I actually have a quick question. I was thinking about this. We're talking about Lamar Jackson, and it seems like the general consensus is Lamar's going back,
Saints.
right? So, if the Ravens, what? But I just want to pitch this out there. Why would you risk paying so much for Lamar when you have a Pro Bowl quarterback backing him up?
Oh my
You
god.
have the
That
Pro
was the
Bowler
most
in Tyler Huntley. Why even bring Lamar back?
because he's an MVP.
Dude, I just
I don't know. Tyler
at least
Huntley.
why didn't they just at
I'd
least
rather
pick?
have the MVP than a Pro Bowl player than
What I just
how
don't
the
understand.
fuck did he get selected to the Pro Bowl?
It's because
Right,
people
there's
were
not
hurt and people couldn't
other.
play. But
Yeah,
why couldn't they pick a quarterback that at least played at least most of the season instead of like
I agree.
5 games? It just made no sense.
Like
I mean,
Davis
he
Mills.
replaced Josh Allen.
Throw Davis in there. That's what I'm
Literally,
saying.
Davis Mills. No, Josh Allen was hurt.
Mhm.
Burrow didn't sat out or something. Mahomes is in the Pro Bowl. Herbert is had surgery, and then Lamar's out. And for
Interestingly
some
enough,
reason, they
Look,
picked
Burrow.
we
Tyler
got somebody
Huntley.
else.
I put Kenny Pickett in over him. I mean, Pickett played
Geno
At
every.
least he
Smith?
played most
Was
of the
he in?
year.
Yeah, I mean, he played basically every game.
No.
Oh no, Burrow was at the Pro Bowl, and there's a picture. I don't know if y'all saw the picture. Did y'all know what picture I'm talking about? You
Mm-mm.
got Burrow. You got. I don't know. It's like the right tackle or the left tackle or something. I don't remember who it was exactly. And then you got Kittle, Juszczyk, Bosa, Debo.
Not happening, bro.
Shut up.
I'm just
That's
saying.
not. That's not
I'm
happening.
just
happening.
saying. Jimmy Garoppolo, Brandon Ayuk, and like a first rounder for Burrow.
You would need so much more than that, dude.
Yeah,
Anyways,
way more than that. Especially because
Cincinnati would burn to the ground.
Burrow is still on his rookie contract too. So
We'll
that's
throw in
not,
our like 17 fifth rounders that we have.
Yeah, no.
Try them.
But all right. Any other thoughts on the NFL before we go to the next topic?
What did y'all think about the flag football?
it's
I
stupid.
honestly I didn't even watch it.
Only thing
It
I
just
saw
didn't
was
interest me at all.
Tyreek Hill getting blasted by Jalen Ramsey.
Oh,
On
yeah,
accident.
me and Jacob both said the NFC was going to win, and we were right. It was hilarious watching Peyton actually be mad at the end, though. I did see that
He did
clip.
have
That
a
was
valid
funny.
argument though.
He did.
That is a rush.
Oh, I I didn't. Like I said, I didn't watch it. I just saw him be
So
mad, and I laughed.
flag football, quarterback cannot run the ball, and they
Right.
took a kneel at the end. So it's technically a rush.
Yeah,
I'm
I guess.
fully with Peyton Manning on that. They should not have been
What
allowed
if
to do
why?
that
Why is it not a sack?
because you.
It's not like you're gaining yards from the rush.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
It's
know. I
valid,
see it
though.
as a rush though. I see it as a rush
I do
personally.
I
too.
mean, yeah, it technically counts as a rush because it's like, oh, so and so kneels for -2 yards or whatever. Because in college, that actually affects you because sacks count as negative rushing yards on you, whereas in the NFL, it counts as team rushing yards and not against the player itself.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
pretty.
I don't know. I guess that's a valid argument, but I just thought it was funny to see Peyton be mad because Peyton's character. Love Peyton.
I thought the flag football was actually kind of fun. I only got to watch the last. Apparently, I don't know if they played a couple of games, but I only got to see the last one where the NFC actually won. Um, it looks fun, man. I mean, it does. Everybody kind of hates on it, make football again with the hard hits and the trying and all that. But I mean, these guys are making a lot of money. They want to play next season. I mean, I'm all for it, man. It's a safer alternative. It's still entertaining. They're making great catches. They're making good throws. All of that. So I'm all
I
for it.
did.
It's safer. It's entertaining.
I did think the accuracy competition and like the catch competition was cool.
yeah.
Oh, I'm kind of iffy on the flag football, but the accuracy and catching competition was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
it's kind
also
of just like the NBA.
saw, yeah, I also saw probably the dumbest take of the day. It was saying replace a Pro Bowl with the two worst teams in the league, and whoever wins gets the number 1 overall pick. I think that's
That's
a very.
perfect.
I think that's so dumb.
And you guys are
What do you think, Kyle?
Well, no, absolutely. Why?
Oh, no
Yeah,
reason.
it's, I mean, I
you're
know the
asking
Texans,
the
yes, but I understand that. But it's just you're asking a team that I mean tanked to play in another game to lose.
To tank again.
I mean, I'm not trying if I'm trying to get the first overall pick.
well
I'm
the
putting
the
all
thing
the
was it
practice
was
squad out there.
whoever won gets the
Oh,
first round
one.
pick
Okay,
or
that
the
makes
first overall
sense.
pick.
Still stupid. It's not entertaining.
It's so dumb. I mean, why? Like, if you're Davis Mills, put yourself in this situation. You're Davis Mills. Go out there to try and play for the pick that's going to be your
Your
replacement. Why the
replacement.
fuck would I want to do that? Why would I do that?
There'd have
Yeah.
to be
It,
some
that's,
bonus money attached. It'd have to be pretty hefty.
yeah, I mean, I'd just be like, oh yeah, threw my arm out. I'm not
You'd
playing.
probably see some
Oh
pretty
shoot.
hilarious plays, though. Let's be real.
Oh
There'd be
yeah,
some funny
I mean,
stuff happening that you'd never see ever again. But pretty cool.
But you get that at Pro Bowl though. Still, I mean, there's doing crazy stuff out there. And it's the best of the best.
yeah,
Right.
I
So.
still.
I don't know, it is kind of scary to watch when you got like 18 players in it. It's like I don't want any of my guys to get hurt. I know that might not be the same for some out, but Kyle.
Yeah. Did anybody from the
Oh,
Jets make it besides the defense?
Sauce.
Besides
four,
defense.
baby.
well, yeah, he said
it was all
besides the
defense.
defense.
No, it's whole defense. I think Garrett Wilson should have made it, man. I'm just saying. But...
Olave is better.
That's valid.
No, he's not.
He's more productive with a worse quarterback
He has
situation.
the most yards. Who had the most yards out of rookies?
I thought it was Olave. I might
No,
be
it was
wrong.
Garrett
Who
Wilson.
was the
Get
quarterback
fucked.
this year? Saints.
Get
Do what?
fucked.
Who was the quarterback for the Saints this year?
Andy Dalton.
And you're saying that is worse than Mike White and Zach Wilson?
Yes.
Joe Flacco.
Did you watch
No
watch
way.
Andy Dalton play?
Andy Dalton is not that bad of a quarterback.
He's not worse than the three we have. So
He's not. Yeah, he's not worse than Zach Wilson. Or
I
Mike
thought Zach
White.
Wilson was like not Zach. I thought Mike White was like the GOAT last time Nick was talking about him. He
That's
was
only
like
week
he was
8
the
Mike White.
savior. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
get it right.
That's valid. That's valid.
Yeah, you were right, Nick. Olave had 1,042 yards. Garrett Wilson had 1,103 yards. Although
Got him.
Garrett Wilson did play 2 more games.
Got him.
So-
He did have a quarterback. I'm sorry. Let's move on. I win.
What?
Okay.
Okay, whatever.
We all agree.
I mean, Olave averaged more yards per game, but it's cool.
You know who else averages more yards per game?
Yeah, who's that?
Me.
Me and my
Got it.
rec
All right.
days.
So, anything else? Any other topics for the NFL y'all can think of?
Hmm. It's kind
All
of
right.
a
Negative.
So we
somewhat quiet
can,
week.
yeah, especially with the Pro Bowl and everything. But go ahead and move on to the NBA. So I'll let Nick start this one off, man. How'd your team do this last week? What do you think about the future? Where do y'all playoffs, not playoffs? Probably playing because you're a Knicks fan. But what do
Relax,
you think,
buddy.
man?
Anyway, this past week, Knicks went 2-2. They won tonight, a squeaker in Orlando.
Ooh,
So,
that's
pretty good.
beating Orlando's kind of hard to do, especially if you're the
Yeah, no,
Celtics.
it's very, very difficult.
Yep. Yeah, they 2-2 this last week. So, I mean, I don't know, man. They're okay. I expect them to be in either play-in or is it 7, 8 seater in the play-in, right?
It's
Okay.
7, 8. And
Okay, so they're either in the play-in or maybe if they can put on a run this last, after the All-Star break, they can maybe get the 6. But that's what I'm expecting. And my a win is if they can get out of the first round. I'm happy. So that's what
all solid. So Jacob, how are the Jazz doing? How'd they do last week?
I believe 1-2. Let me say look. Yeah, 1-2. Beat the Raptors. Lost against the Hawks. Lost against the Dallas with no Luca, no Kyrie. So, um,
Each.
yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, just kind of, I didn't get a chance to watch the entire game in its entirety. But after watching some highlights, watching some kind of film, I guess, it just seems like the outside noise is getting inside the building. You've got literally only 3 untouchable players on that entire team, and Danny Ainge is ready to sell. So it was just like nobody playing like a unit. Felt like summer league game one where you get just a bunch of random dudes together and you're like, all right, let's run some plays, and it just didn't work. Yeah, the only ones I think that are untouchable are Markkinen, Ochai, and Walker Kessler. And I think there's even been some reports that those are the only untouchables. I don't really want to move on from Mike Conley, but again, the more we dump off some players, maybe we can get into the Victor off, or at least stay in
Yeah.
the lottery, even though we do have the Timberwolves
But
pick. But
I think keeping Conley around would be good for. I know he probably doesn't want to go into a rebuild, and which he's already kind of in one. But having a veteran presence like him, he's been around a lot of things. I think keeping him in that locker room would be good for y'all. Um,
mm-hmm.
so
the one
Or oh,
uh-oh.
sorry.
No, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say that report where they trade Russ,
Yeah,
in some first
that's
rounds.
actually what I
You
was
still
gonna
get
do.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead,
I
go ahead.
mean, they were saying something like Mike Conley, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley for Westbrook and either one or two of those first rounders. I mean, if they're completely unprotected, I'm not completely against it. However, I don't know. I feel like that's given up a little too much, and that kind of falls into that usual every single year the Lakers, when they start predicting these trades they're going to get, they all of a sudden can get everybody and anybody, and they have nothing to offer. Um, and then, yeah,
especially I still like Russ, but trying to trade for Russ and then just buying him out and letting him go, like what would even be the point of trading for him? Like why? Like
just to
Vanderbilt's a
get the
really solid
picks.
young player. Like why?
It's just the
Yeah, but
picks. I don't know. I think the player with the biggest upside in that whole deal is Malik Beasley. Honestly, um,
yeah,
or no, I guess I'll take that back. I think Vanderbilt probably has the highest ceiling, but Beasley has the highest floor. Um, Beasley just needs some. I don't know. Sometimes he gets a little inconsistent with the way he plays. Um, does some kind of boneheaded decisions, and then Malik Beasley, I believe he's like top 3 in clutch time 3 points. So someone out there would be willing to buy, I'm sure, but
yeah.
I don't know. Just gotta get
Especially with how
compensated well.
Trader Danny is. He's a menace.
Yeah,
I'll
we
say
somehow
that.
pulled off I don't know. So, it'll be interesting to see.
Hey, I told you whenever y'all hired him, Danny Ainge's gonna be a good hire. I mean,
Yeah, uh, we'll see. We're still a long way out of the rebuilds. We'll see. It'll be interesting. But,
so Celtics went 2-1 the last week with an absolute shit kicking of the Nets. My absolute favorite thing. Beat them 139-96. The spread for that game was even. We won by 43. I think we covered. Um, Streets are saying the Celtics broke the Knicks for the third time. Beat them in the playoffs. What was it? Or no, we beat them by 30 in the regular season. James Harden requested a trade. Swept them in the playoffs last year. KD requested a trade. Beat them by 40 the other night. Kyrie got traded. So, um, it's been fun. This little rivalry we've had with the Nets. I mean, we're 10-0 or 11-0 in the last 11 games we played them. It's always fun kicking the shit out of Kyrie. That's like my favorite personal pastime. I love it. He got sent off to Dallas. I mean, that's hilarious. I mean, Cavs fans tried to warn the Celtics fans when we traded for him, and I was super happy about it. I thought it was going to be a great trade. Then obviously that whole thing went down. We tried to warn Nets fans how it was going to play out. Nets fans didn't listen to us. And now the Mavs fans are in the same place as everybody else. We're all saying, hey, this isn't going to work out. It's going to be fun for, a couple games, make a deep run in the playoff. And then by the time next year comes, it's just going to fall apart. Um, I'm excited to watch that shit show happen personally. Um, so they followed off with this 40-point win at home to a loss on Sunday to a Devin Booker CP3 less Suns at home by 12, no less. And then last night beat the Pistons. No Jaylen Brown, no Marcus Smart still. Rob played out of his mind. Jason Tatum was doing Tatum things. Shout out to the Spurs for giving us Derek White. Derek White went crazy. Brogdon, God, that was a great trade for both sides. I know Naismith is doing pretty good in Indy. Brogdon has been great. I mean, if Russ didn't have the name that he did, I think Brogdon would probably be in the running for sixth man of the year. But Russ is playing great, so probably the awards probably go to him. Brogdon has been an excellent pickup. I mean, he's been he buried Pritchard a little bit, so that kind of sucks because I really like Pritchard. But yeah, things are looking up. Still best record in the league. Number one seed in the East.
I've seen some rumors circling with the Celtics. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah,
You
where
know,
are they?
you know what I'm referencing? Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
I'm good. If it involves either Tatum or Brown, I'm good. I'm hanging up the
So
phone.
you would
I'm
not
making the
you would
call.
not trade Jaylen Brown for KD straight up.
Nope.
You're insane, bro.
Why? So he can get hurt again?
It's Kevin Durant.
So he can quit on the. We have the number one overall record in the NBA, first in the East, without our starting point guard. Why break the team up?
Because you
Why
get a
break
better
the team up?
player.
Why break the team up? Tatum and Brown are on pace right now to become one of the greatest duos of all time.
Cap.
I mean, it's not cap. They are literally on pace to be some of the best two-way duos of all time.
Shaq and Kobe.
He said one
I
of
just
the
said
best,
on
but
pace
Jordan and Pippen.
to be the
Jordan
best
Pippen.
two-way. I said
LeBron and
on
Kyrie.
pace. Oh,
Oh,
LeBron and Kyrie.
Stockton and
Yeah,
Malone. Keep it going.
What did I just-
Oh my.
what did I just say? Do y'all
Tim
not
Duncan
understand what the fuck
and
on
Robinson?
pace means?
Dude.
Do y'all not understand what on pace means?
go a little bit in
Wait.
depth for our viewers here on
A two-way.
what? No,
two-way
hold
players.
on. On the two-way player part, and what makes them on pace to be one of the best. Like, what are they doing right now, or in these past couple years they've been together, where they've really started to thrive, to make you say that they are on pace?
Well, for one, they already have the together 30-point games together. They're already like second all time in 30-point games together. They obviously had the best defense in the league last year. Have another great defense this year. Tatum and Brown have played excellent defense, and I mean, I don't know what else more I could say. Tatum is averaging almost 31 points per game. Brown is averaging over 25. I mean, Tatum's averaging like 38-4 right now, 31-8-4. Brown's averaging like 25-7-4. I mean, they play on both ends. I mean, defense is kind of not a thing in the NBA anymore. For a very select few people, it still is, and that's the Celtics have always had. They've had a good defense, arguably one of the best defenses of all time last year, and then they have a great defense this year. I mean,
Now imagine
I
how
don't
many
know
30-point games you get if you do Tatum and KD.
And then
True,
KD
man.
goes and plays no defense on the other end, and then he gets hurt.
Hey, but
And you
you get
break
your
up
30-point games though.
you break up all team chemistry that you have.
It's just one
All of
player, bro. It's not that
And
deep.
then no, it's not. This is why y'all never win anything, Nick, is because you think, oh, it's just one player. It's not going to be a big deal.
'Cause it really isn't.
We have a standard in Boston. We have 17 of them banners.
Standard
We're chasing
in Boston.
18.
We
Standard, man.
Yeah,
Poop in your
I
pants.
refer to I spend money on the Celtics. I can refer to them as we. I
Interesting
buy
take.
merch. I buy shit. I can say we. I invest my time and money into the team. I can say we. Just like y'all can say we for whatever fucking team you root for. You can say we.
We.
Is that
back you up there, Colton, because I agree. I
Thank
agree with you, Colton.
I agree. Why?
I do. Just off the sole fact of what he said of breaking up the team. They got a really good thing going in Boston. Breaking up Jalen, Tatum, the duo that is on pace to be the best ever.
Why'd you
Would
word
be
it like
terrible. Would be the
That's
would be
sarcastic.
detrimental to the locker room.
Said one of the best ever,
That's what I
not
said.
the
That's what I
best.
said. I said,
No,
oh,
you
okay,
said the
excuse me,
best.
Excuse me. One of the best.
There's a difference.
There's a huge difference, and they're not even going to
Yes.
touch top 7. My opinion
Yeah,
on that.
because
Anyway,
they're both 25.
Anyway, you don't trade for KD. Keep that locker room intact. They're doing very well. If they can win a championship, especially, nah.
Honestly, I will say, building off that, you're missing a point guard. Make a little trade, send Jason Tatum over to Utah for Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. I think I don't see anything wrong with that. So
Yeah.
that's
There you
what I
go.
see.
Who do you get rid of first, though? If it comes down to it, who gets thrown out first? Jalen or
Yes.
Tatum?
Hey,
Because you're gonna trade one of them eventually.
Why?
I think so. I think
Why
one of them
can't
will.
they?
Because they're not gonna be able to pay them both the way that they want to
Money,
be paid.
dude. They're
Yeah, they
both-
can. They can both sign the supermax.
they
Tatum
have
already
no
signed the
team around them.
supermax.
That's true.
Team friendly deals.
Interesting.
If you get a championship out of it, it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, it doesn't.
Sound like Micah Parsons right now. Talking about the championship before you can get there. Psh. Golly.
If you can get a championship out of them both, it doesn't fucking matter, is what I'm saying. If.
I get
I'm
it.
not saying they're gonna win it.
If.
Twisting my words all type of way. I did see some shit about trading for Vanderbilt, which I would be fine with. I just don't know who you would give up.
Tatum.
Yeah, because Vanderbilt's even on the same level as.
What's his name? Pritchard.
No.
Yeah. I think you would have to give up Pritchard, probably a first-round pick. Pritchard's a good guard. He's just buried on a team full of really good guards. In the limited minutes he gets, he plays really well. Can shoot the three, can dribble. He's great on the offensive boards, which is very surprising for a guy with his stature. Good player.
No, I
Probably
wouldn't
better.
mind that if we shipped Conley off and just replaced him with him. I wouldn't mind that, but
There's no reason to get Conley when you have Smart.
I'm not saying to the Celtics. I'm just saying if Conley
Oh.
gets shipped elsewhere, then.
Yeah.
But what about
Pritchard is
the Spurs though?
Hold on,
Yeah.
before we get to the Spurs, because I mean it's not gonna take me long.
Oh God.
I want to do the Pritchard thing because I've kind of seen this on Twitter. It was like since the Kyrie trade for the Nets, there's a guy on their team that was buried deep named Cam Thomas,
Balling out.
who has just put together 3 40-point games for the Nets.
it's
Granted, they
30
lost
now.
today. It's 3. He scored
He had
40
his third
points
one?
tonight. 40,
Holy
43 points tonight, 11 of 23 shooting, 3 from 9. He did somehow manage to get 20 free throws.
Dang. Damn!
let
Oh
that
my
speak for it. I'll
god.
let that speak for itself.
He made 20 or he
But
had 20 attempts?
he had 20 attempts, made 18.
Wow.
18 for 20 at the free throw line.
90%.
But to bring up Pritchard, I don't know how you say his name.
Pritchard.
What there's that thing on Twitter that said every team most likely has a Cam Thomas on their team that's just buried,
Yeah.
who has
Yeah.
superstar factor, the it factor. We're seeing that with Cam Thomas. I mean, maybe you trade for Pritchard and maybe he has a breakout season in Utah.
I mean, Pritchard has
Kind of
shown
fits
that he can
in.
play with the big boys. I mean,
Pritchard does
yeah,
fit in. Let's be real.
yeah,
Why
definitely
is that,
does.
Jacob? How does he fit in?
Oh, because he's just a point guard. You know, if we get rid of Conley, then you need a point guard. You need a ball handler. So,
Sure.
and personally, I don't think that Markkanen is the number one option. I think he's going to be a phenomenal two. But you get Victor Wembanyama, then there we go. Nice little.
That just leads straight into me.
There you go.
Yep.
The Spurs are 0-4 since the beginning of the week last week on Monday. 9 straight L's.
Golly.
Last podcast, I kind of talked about the Spurs a little bit. We were 2-13 in the month of January,
Mm-hmm.
and we've lost 9 straight since then. So we are 1 game back from the worst record in the NBA. We're tied. We're 1 game back of I believe it's the Rockets, and then we're half a game back of the Pistons in the Eastern Conference, who are terrible.
Jesus.
Yeah. So since the new year, we've won 2 games.
Was that 2-22?
Yep, somewhere around there.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
since the new year. So we're going for Vicky. Hey, we did acquire the Dwayne Dedman, who, by the way, is averaging 5 points this year.
Oh hell yeah!
So happy we got him. What a contributing
think-
factor to our tanking team,
I think y'all are gonna make a run now that he's on the team.
right? I mean, All-Star break, Dwayne Dedman comes in. He's gonna like really get in their ear, talk to these
Yep.
young cats, and we're gonna get them right.
If it makes you feel better, I was playing some 2K, and Bam Adebayo was just getting eaten on defense, and then they subbed Deadman in, and all of a sudden I couldn't score in the paint.
Makes me feel great, dude. Thank
Hey,
you.
let's see.
Thanks for that.
That's
So, Victor,
Yeah.
Wembiana, whatever his name is, we're coming for you, bud.
Wembanyama.
We'll save
Dude,
you.
one thing about Pop, man, he will take international players and make them great.
Yeah,
we
that's
might
fair.
not have much Pop for much longer, coaching wise. I don't. He's
That's
getting
fine. Bring in
so
Timmy.
old. That would. You know who I think
Timothy?
is a. You know who I think is a sleeper pick for Spurs head coach. I think Quinn Snyder. I think that's not a bad choice at all. He had some.
Yeah.
He coached under Pop. I could see that honestly.
I'm okay. I'm all right with it, man. I think I know. All good things must come to an end, man. It may be the end of. I know that this was a conversation. I think the last year and even the year before that is Pop. Should we get rid of Pop? Is Pop going to retire on his own, or are we going to have to kind of give him a little help out the
I don't think
door?
that'll ever happen.
So
If anything, it's you put him into some sort of like ownership or some like front office position, kind of like a Brad Stevens situation. I'm not comparing the two, but comparing the situations. That's what I think could be an idea.
President of basketball operations.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
somewhere around there, I'd be more than open to Quinn Snyder. I'd be more than open to Tim Duncan coming in and taking the reins, because I'm still thinking he's an assistant on the team. Not 100% sure. So that's it for this Spurs, man. Going for the number 1 pick.
Here's a stat that I saw. It was not of all time. It was the most all time before the All-Star break ever by any duo ever. They have scored. Jalen and Jason have scored 25 points each in 27 games
You said
before the
30.
All-Star break. Okay,
That's impressive.
well, obviously it wasn't 30, but that's the most all-time by any duo ever before the All-Star break. So there you go.
Wonderful.
Well, yes, that is a fantastic stat. You can't
Yeah,
deny
I know
it.
it is.
But you were also just mentioning how there's no defense in today's league, and if you take, all these duos, you got Shaq, Kobe, Jordan, Pippen. There's insane. They may only score. Jordan might go off and drop 35, and Pippen has 8 and 8, and has a more impactful game. It's still that debate. Even we're seeing in the NFL right now with Trent Dilfer. saying that.
Yeah, because Trent Dilfer should be the one that's talking about
Right,
greatness.
Hey, he's won a Super
This is
Bowl,
where
bro.
your argument was
did.
good, and then you brought in
It's
Trent
the Super
Dilfer.
Bowl.
I'm not
Just for
saying.
comparison.
I'm
Just for
not saying Trent
comparison.
Dilfer makes it valid
It's
or
not a
not.
good comparison.
I'm just saying it's the same similar argument where you got different eras of football being played. You got different eras of basketball. So I think it's somewhat of a cherry pick stat where, like, of course they're gonna have it because you didn't have people shooting the ball as much back in the day. It was all about defense, like you even said. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I'm not saying it's a bad stat. It's a pretty great stat when you look at it, but yeah. But when you actually you think about it and go into it a little bit, it's not less impressive. It's just kind of makes you think, you know. That's the way I see it.
Which is just goes back to my point. Whatever. They're on pace to be one of the best duos ever. Simple as that.
Fair enough.
Simple as that.
Personal opinion.
I mean, it's not. You literally watch them play. They're easily two of the best
Okay,
two-way
be wrong.
players in the league. I mean, I'm not wrong. It literally
Better
not.
than LeBron?
What did I just say? What is the point about being a two-way player that you don't fucking understand?
You said the best two-way player. I think LeBron's a better two-way player.
LeBron does not
Giannis
fucking
is a
play
better-
defense. LeBron
Okay,
hasn't
then
played
Giannis.
defense in 10
Giannis.
fucking years.
Giannis.
Who is Giannis doing this with? I'm talking about
Middleton.
duos.
Chris Middleton.
I
A&M
will
legend.
take Jason and Jay. I will
Okay.
take
A&M
Jason
legend,
and
Chris
Jalen
Middleton.
over Tatum or not. Jesus Christ, y'all got me all fucked up. Middleton and Giannis. I will take them easily.
I know you got Harden.
Wait,
and
well,
Embiid.
you would.
Huh?
Oh, come on. They're not
Harden
even
and Embiid.
playing that well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take Tatum and Brown over Harden and Embiid.
You got
The
KD
fuck
and
have
Cam
Harden
Thomas.
and Embiid? What has Harden and Embiid ever accomplished? They never even fucking made it to the conference finals. Jalen and Jason have been there 5 times, including one finals appearance.
Zion and Brandon Ingram.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh.
All right,
Dude,
so
they're slept on, bro.
Markel
They are
Fultz and Bol Bol.
Bol Bol.
you done?
Oh man,
You done?
What do we have?
Moving on.
I could go on for
Yeah.
hours. So
Yeah, and you could be wrong for hours. So the next topic we got is the NBA Pick'em. I think Jacob, you have the spreadsheet pulled up. If you want
I
to
do,
pull
I
that
do.
up for the viewers.
let's get this here.
Pretty sure everybody last week except for me went 4-1. I went 3-2.
Got him.
Couldn't be me.
All good. Still tied for first in the overall standings. I'm good with that. Gonna go 5-0 this week. Just what it is.
I do find it interesting though that, if 3 of us did go 4-1, but none of us lost the same game. We all lost different games.
Yep.
To be fair, all of us did choose, week 1, week 2, or not week 1, 2, Tuesday and Wednesday. We all chose the literally exact teams to win, and then we got a little mix and match after that. But
It seems
Yeah,
every
it's
time I talk shit about the Knicks, they always win. So I'm gonna stop talking shit about the Knicks. That way they just lose.
How they do, man.
well, because wasn't one of the times
Lose?
whenever you were
Yeah.
talking trash, didn't Julius Randle end up becoming Deuce's grandfather or something?
He did, man. Nuts. In
Okay.
face. His Julius Randle's nuts in.
I mean, he's been by 18 earlier in the season, and nobody had anything to say. They finally win a fucking game, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Anyways, let's
Literally
Let's get
whooped
into
y'all's
this
ass
pick'em.
by 18 on your home fucking court, and I didn't hear a fucking thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so what's our slate looking like? I'll fill it in as we go. Just give me each game, and then I'll throw it in here.
So since this podcast is on Tuesday instead of Monday, thanks Nick. We are
piss
doing
off,
Wednesday through
asshole.
Sunday. We're doing Wednesday through Sunday. So Wednesday, the first game we got is the Mavericks at the Clippers. So
Okay.
I personally, like I said, the Kyrie experience goes well for the first 40 games. Late playoff run. Don't win the finals. End up getting beat. I think the momentum of finally playing together is going to be too much for the Clippers. I think the Mavs are going to win.
Interesting.
I do get it is in LA, but I mean, does Kawhi Leonard even play basketball anymore? I
Yeah,
swear to
he
God,
Wait,
hasn't.
I
is
haven't
PG
seen.
playing?
Kawhi and Paul George have just not been playing great. It's. I think it's
Ah,
about the end of the experiment over there in LA. I wouldn't mind honestly,
Kawhi is just
kind of getting
going
blown
to
up.
retire. Honestly,
I don't know.
what
He
about you,
won his
Jacob? Who you
ring.
got? Mavs or Clippers?
I do agree with your take with Kyrie. I was even one of my coworkers is a huge Mavs fan, um, and he was kind of conflicted when the trade happened just because of how much was given up. And Dorian Finney-Smith is friends with Luca. Dinwiddie always seems to be that player where Luca doesn't play, and then Dinwiddie drops 60 points and then goes back to scoring 3 a game. Um, but I'm kind of with you this week. I think Kyrie comes in. Oh, little stat that he brought up. Um, I believe Luca has the most points averaged in the first quarter, and Kyrie averages the most points in the fourth quarter of the season. So that's something to keep an
I
eye
think
on.
think Kyrie hit a big three in the fourth the other night to bring the deficit from 47 to 44. Um, so
This
yeah,
guy,
would make
this guy.
sense.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Dallas.
Big D,
All right, Nate. Nick, who you got?
Dallas. Same reason
All right,
as you
Kyle.
guys.
Odd man out. I'm going Clippers, man.
Dang, okay.
You
Yeah,
ass.
In LA. Uh, if Kawhi and Paul George play, we don't know ever for sure, but I'm just gonna say they do, and I'll go with the Clippers.
yeah. So on Thursday we have the Nuggets at the Magic.
Are you going to
Um,
learn
I'm
your lesson?
going. I'm going. Yeah, no, I'm going Nuggets, man. The Magic have been playing good. Paulo Banquero looks good. Not enough to overcome the back-to-back MVP. Who you got, Jacob?
You know, I think the smart choice here is Denver. I really think it is. But anytime you doubt the Magic,
They fucking win.
exactly. So I'm going to Orlando. It might be the unpopular pick, but I'm going to Orlando.
Hey, man. It may be an unpopular pick, but it's your pick, and nobody can take that
Yeah,
away
I
from
got the
you.
tingle. I got the Kyle Tingle going
Exact,
right now.
exactly.
Hey.
Nick, who you got? You got sleep or
Orlando.
I
Disney
guess it's not
World.
the unpopular pick.
yeah?
I don't know.
Apparently
I like
not.
Orlando. They're fun.
They're
Okay.
young.
And it's in Orlando,
Yeah,
right?
young,
Yep.
talented teams are fun to watch because if they're on, they're on. If they're not, they're not. You know.
Yeah, either they're gonna
Terrible.
win like nice or it's gonna be a bad
Yeah,
blowout.
just get
There's like
smoked by
no in
you.
between.
We'll see. See.
Jokic is going to drop 50, 20, 10 or some shit.
Hey, that'd be
Ugh,
sick.
That would
I wouldn't
suck.
mind losing the pick if we got a
Yeah,
fantastic game
if
like
we did
that.
that.
So
yeah. Kyle, what you got?
It's not the unpopular opinion, baby. I'm going with
Not.
Orlando.
Orlando.
oh
Okay.
snap. Okay.
Fine with me.
Hey, can I change my?
Uh,
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, you can, yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah,
joking.
it might be the time too.
If Kyle actually got the tingle, so it's time to bail on that one.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it this time, but
Okay, sorry.
I'll ride with. Pause. Never mind.
Okay.
Just go
Wait
ahead.
a
Gonna
Go ahead,
ride with
Cole.
my
minute.
tingle.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. Pause. Go ahead.
Uh, Friday, we got the Suns at the Pacers, and Devin Booker is now back as of tonight. So, Devin Booker being back, I think the Pacers are still a good team. Shout out Halliburton for being an All Star when that I think it was the Knicks color commentator or somebody affiliated with the Knicks said he was a wannabe All Star. Changed his profile pic to the guy that said that, and now he's in the All Star game. So shout out to Halliburton, man. I'm taking the Suns though. So Jacob, what about you?
I like Indy. Um, I think that Phoenix is still a fake contender. I think
Yeah.
they're one of the fakest teams out there. Now all of a sudden behind Memphis. But yeah, I don't know. I can't stand the Suns. I like the pieces that the Pacers have. Devin Booker's great and all, but I don't think he's as good as a lot of people. It could just be a little bit of bias, but I don't know. Not a huge Booker fan.
Yep. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Nick, who you got?
Man, fuck the Suns, dude. I'm taking Pacers. I just don't like Booker because he bagged Kendall Jenner and then he fumbled her somehow. Fucking idiot.
Couldn't be me. I wouldn't have.
God, dude, what a dumbass. And like Jacob said, I think he's fake. He's like Cat to me. He's just all stats really, but he just doesn't win.
I agree.
Interesting take.
Chris
Yo,
Paul,
who did
Chris
I
Paul's
agree?
no longer Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Chris Paul's washed.
D-Book is a dog.
Yeah, D-Book is pretty good.
Somebody said
He's
I
good.
heard somebody
He's
say
a
I
hooper.
agree.
He's a hooper, but I think he's just all
Thank you, Jacob.
stats. Like he doesn't win.
Interesting. Suns. Just because Nick said some shit like that.
Man,
D-Book's dropping 40.
talking sweet to me, Kyle.
Okay, dude.
All right.
So Saturday, moving on to Saturday's game, we got Lakers at the Warriors. I've been seeing some rumblings that the Warriors are going to try and move. They're looking to move as a. I think it was Kendrick Perkins was saying Moody Moses. They're looking to move Moses Moody and
Kaminga? The cum bucket?
no, not him. It was Wiseman. They're looking to move maybe Wiseman and Moody. So even with that, Lakers are not going to do anything. Like Jacob mentioned earlier, every time not the All-Star break, every time the trade deadline comes around, they're suddenly getting anybody, and then they're going to trade a second-round pick for Alan Horton-Tucker or some shit, and that's going to be their big move at the deadline. So Lakers are still frauds.
Transfer my boy THT. He's a
It
jazz
was
man
literally
now.
I was gonna say Deadman, but he already got traded for a second round pick. It was just literally the first random player that came to my mind, and it was THD.
You get a pass.
So I got the Warriors. I mean, Warriors are at home. They're really damn good, and they have been for like the last 10 years, it seems. Who you got, Jacob?
I think that's the pick. I think Warriors easily.
Yeah.
Especially once LeBron breaks this record, he's probably gonna coast the rest of the season. I don't see them making it anywhere. They're not gonna win the finals. I don't know. I don't really see. And then AD's made of glass. We got some eyes being thrown.
My bad.
Oh, there we go.
Like I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, it's like a class presentation right now. You give me the thumbs up. But yeah, Warriors.
All right, Nick, who do you got?
Say it, Warriors.
Kyle?
I want to pick the Lakers so bad.
Yeah,
Warriors.
Warriors. Nice. Clean sweep with the Warriors. All right. And Sunday, there was literally 2 games Sunday, so the random number generator picked this one. Grizzlies at Celtics. I think it's pretty obvious. Pretty obvious who I'm going here. Celtics. Yeah, Celtics are going to win, or they're going to find a way to play really, really bad and just get blown out. I don't know. No in between. What do you think, Jacob?
Well,
Everybody's going Grizzlies.
after I just absolutely tore into the Grizzlies as I was talking about the Suns being one of the fakest teams when it comes to like the attitude of the team, I gotta take Boston. Even you had I don't know if y'all saw it. I'm sure you probably did, but Dylan Brooks pulling his cheap stuff with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan's no longer with Utah, but he's always going to be probably one of my favorite players. So, I don't know. That was just it kind of it rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah, interesting.
Hey, you better be careful, dude. Jaw and his gang are about to point some lasers at
his
you.
suburban gang. I don't know. I can't even say anything. But just from the way he presents himself and like, I will agree with Shannon Sharp how he's saying, "Hey man, you're worth $200 million. You shouldn't be faking that, or even if it's not fake, you shouldn't really like go play
Why
basketball.
jeopardize it?
Yeah, why jeopardize it? So yeah, I gotta go Boston. I can't
Especially
stand
in
it.
Memphis.
Yeah, yeah. Memphis needs to play
You don't want
spring.
to don't play with Memphis.
Nah,
Yeah.
not at all. All right, Nick, who you got?
Tough, man. Both team. I hate both teams, but this is just for the sake of my record on Pick'em. I would not be at all sad if Boston loses, but I'm gonna go Boston.
Nice. All right, Kyle.
Odd man out.
No way, bro.
I don't care about my pick 'em. Your
Calling his
record, you
bluff.
know.
I'm calling his bluff right now.
It doesn't matter, right? I'm picking the team that I think is gonna. I'm not going to a safe route. Picking
That's
this
fine.
team.
I'm not
I'm
going with the
adding
safe
at
route
Nick.
either.
I'm adding at Nick. I'm adding at Nick.
Yeah,
I don't know who to
route.
pick.
That's
I'm gonna
fine.
go. I'm gonna go Grizzlies.
You're not gonna peer pressure me into
Ja
switching.
is gonna. Ja's gonna be uh Randall's daddy now. After
Oh,
and so
there we go.
Wait, what? Like
Tatum.
Boston.
Tatum is gonna be. I don't know. Tatum is gonna be Ja's great grandson.
Oh no.
I got Grizzlies.
whenever Rob is gonna put his nuts on Dylan Brooks'
That's fine.
forehead.
Hey, I would love nothing more because Rob is an A&M alum
No.
and Dylan Brooks
Uh,
sucks.
Kyle needs to slow his
Okay.
roll on that one. I don't know if picking up.
Okay, well, you can go ahead and roll into the next deal.
Hey, I don't know. Real
Nice.
quick though, real quick. I do
Okay.
know that you mentioned last week, and it's up on stream right now. We had a weekly record. Both myself, Kyle, and Nick 4-1, Colton 3-2. So overall, that brings us all to me and Colton are tied right now at 8-2. Kyle and Nick are tied at 7-3. So, I mean,
Close one.
I kind of wish we would have started this, game one. It'd be really cool to have a lot more numbers up here, but
I'm glad we didn't.
nobody's really falling behind right now. So it's still competitive. I like it.
I feel like I was kind of the odd man out this week, so I feel like I could easily take the lead or
Yeah.
I could easily be last place.
That is
so.
true. So we'll
Kind of
see.
like what happened in our college football pick'em. It was somebody was either going to do really good or really bad.
Really bad.
Yeah, it was not. At least I beat you though this year. I finished second. I'm good with that. Cam
Ross
still
is
got last.
different, dude.
Dude, Ross, he won by like 16 picks.
Shout
Like,
out
that was
Ross.
Crazy. Yeah, shout out Ross for just demolishing me and Kyle and Cam in college football pick'em this year. Yeah. So next thing we're going to talk about something we have not talked about before. We go into a little bit of UFC with a little main card coming up this week. I'm not the resident expert here in the UFC. I'm gonna hand it off to Kyle. Kyle watches more UFC than probably all of us combined, and he knows way more, and he can take us in depth. Kyle, what you got?
We're really just gonna go in depth here on the main event card, or excuse me, main event of the card. Alexander Volkanovski, however you say that, and then Islam. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name at UFC 284. Islam is 23-1. Kind of took the UFC by storm. He is currently the number 2 pound for pound fighter behind Volkanovski, and 11 fight win streak. You got him beating Charles Oliveira for the lightweight championship as his last fight. Who Charles Oliveira is arguably one of the best lightweights in UFC history. And he is in his last 5 wins, 4 of those have come through submission. So that's one thing to look out for. He is also stands at 5'10", while Volkanovski stands at 5'6", and is a pure more so striker, as Islam is a wrestler. As I was saying about Volk is 25-1, number 1 pound for pound fighter with a 12 fight win streak. His last fight was in July of last year, when he went into a unanimous decision against a good Max Holloway for I believe it was their trilogy fight. His last 5 wins, 3 were decisions, which meant I think they were all title defenses too, so they went to 5 rounds.
Looks like we not lost Nick.
Nick may have just cut out, which is Okay, well, I guess we'll kind of keep on rolling here.
For
Um,
sure.
Volkanovski hasn't fought since July 2nd last year. His last five wins, three came from a unanimous decision, one from a split decision against Max Holloway,
Hmm.
and then one TKO and knockout. So I think we're looking here. Volkanovski is moving up from the featherweight division to the lightweight division. Um, and as we've kind of seen, there's this trend here, especially with Adesanya, Israel Adesanya coming up to fight Jan Blachowicz, um, moving up in a weight class, man, it kind of does slow you down a little bit. It's you're not used to that kind of weight on a day to day basis, especially in a 5 round fight of this magnitude. Um, so I mean, I know you guys don't watch too much UFC, but it's going to give the viewers kind of a breakdown of the two fighters and kind of get your guys' thoughts. You kind of just based off of what I've said on how you could maybe see this fight going.
I think, I think like what you said, moving up in a weight class is never easy. I mean, I honestly, so if I had to pick right now, I'd probably take Islam. I mean, Islam has just been dominant. And I don't know. I don't watch enough UFC to actually make an accurate prediction of anything, but uh, I'm gonna have to go with Islam here. What about you, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, I think one big point to kind of bring up, piggybacking off of a little bit of what Kyle was mentioning, with Islam beating Charles Oliveira, and he walked him down and whooped him. Um, I believe he was it a first round submission. So he made it look like a piece of cake, honestly. So that's very scary in my opinion. That being said, so Volk he's going up. He's going up to fight Islam,
Up
right?
away. Yep.
So I don't know. That's kind of dangerous. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll probably go with Islam, honestly. Even though it does seem like Volk is pretty dangerous from what I've watched of him. But at this point, if you're a champion, you're dangerous. We see all the time that people that are contending, even if you're not currently a champion, if you're just contending, we saw Usman go down, and that was crazy. That was insane. So I think I'm gonna go Islam though. He made Charles Oliveira seem like he was fighting
Nothing.
me. He took him down so easily. It's like I was out there or something. So I'll go Islam. I don't know. What about you, Kyle? What you thinking?
I think it's gonna be a lot better fight than maybe some people think. I think the height difference is a big thing. Volk
Yeah.
standing at 5'6" versus Islam at 5'10", and like you said, Volk is moving up in weight. So now you're going up against somebody who's used to this, taller than you, has a longer reach than you,
Well, real quick,
weighs
I
more.
just
So
checked on. So we have actually the reach. You got your arm reach. Volk actually has a longer reach by 1 inch. That being said, Islam has a 4.5 inch advantage with his legs. So maybe we see some kicks. I don't know if he's a
Mm.
kicker really. Um, but yeah, Islam also has 10 pounds on him, which that's kind of seems probably huge,
a
honestly.
lot, especially with Islam being more so of a wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Um, he's kind of proven he can stand up and fight. But Volk is a striker, dude. Like he's like a little pit bull.
Mhm.
Dude's different, and so I think I really don't know. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. Islam is trying to prove something, but so is Volk because I think Islam is favored to win. If I'm not mistaken, Jacob. I don't know if you have that up
Let's
where
see
you can
it.
see
Let's see what
the.
our odds are. But currently, I'm not seeing any odds on the UFC's website. It's all not available. Um,
I think Islam is favored from what I've seen on the UFC headlines and pages on Twitter and
Now
whatnot.
here,
But
some of these little stats right here on the UFC website. I just kind of want to pick your brain, see what you think. So we've got um, this is their percentages of how they've won all their fights. So you've got Islam has got a KO or TKO in 17% of his fights. Has got a submission in 48%, and by decision 35%. Let's flip over to Volk. We got a 50% KO or TKO, 13 subs and 38 decision. In your whether you're thinking what your prediction is or the perfect case scenario, are you wanting or expecting, I should say, a Islam submission decision? Volk wins KO. What are you expecting? Or maybe you're gonna go out the. Maybe you're expecting Islam's about to drop him. What do you think?
Uh, I think there's two outcomes, possible outcomes for this fight. It's Islam submitting Volk, in whichever round that may be, or it's Volk winning by decision. Like I said, in the last five fights of Volk, he's taken four to decision. Three were unanimous, one was split. Um, I think though here recently, man, I don't think he's fought anybody like Islam.
Mm,
Um, I think, like I said, Islam's kind of proven he can stand up and fight, but also when he gets you to the ground, Charles Oliveira is a great submission artist, and he got him to the ground and submitted him like you said, like it was you fighting, it was me fighting. So
yeah.
I think just based off of that, I think I'd go Islam probably as well. But I don't count out Volk at all because all it takes is one slip up from Islam and that's it.
Yep.
So
Facts. I don't know. I would love to
perfect.
see. I would love to see something that's not expected. Volkanovski get a sub.
What's up?
Maybe Islam throw an insane kick, knock him out. Something crazy. Especially in the UFC. I don't know about you guys. Other than when McGregor was huge, I fell in love with McGregor. I used to like
Same.
George St. Pierre. Stuff like that. Where I've never really had a guy. I mean, but I always just want to see. It's combat sports. I want to see someone get knocked out. I want to see something like Kamaru Usman getting dropped with 2 minutes left, minute 30 seconds,
Yeah.
whatever it was. That was insane. Internet went crazy. You can always rely on Twitter and all your social medias
Yeah.
to give you some awesome reactions. So it's pretty cool. But
Right on.
Speaking of
Yeah.
McGregor, man, he just got announced as the Ultimate Fighter coach against Michael Chandler, who called him out in his most recent fight, and then they're set to fight once the season is the Ultimate Fighter season is over. So, what do you guys think about a possible McGregor return, and how does he
I
fare?
want to see it.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I mean, I was like Jacob said, I never really had a guy uh, early on in the UFC, but McGregor came along, and me and millions of other people hopped on the McGregor bandwagon. And I
What?
mean, I love what
I'll leave it
I
there.
love. Shut up. I love watching McGregor fight, but I mean, he doesn't have the same drive as Double Champ did, and so now it's kind of like, I could win, I could lose, I don't really give a fuck. When Prime McGregor was just going for blood,
An
beat
animal.
whoever, yeah, and he wanted it. I think that's the only downfall to watching McGregor fight now is like you obviously. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't either. I mean, you got $100 million for watching Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he doesn't ever have to do anything again. I get it, but it's just not the same. I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch it, and I'm gonna watch it. Like I'm gonna get the pay per view. I'm gonna watch it. Like, but it's just kind of sucks. It's not like the same McGregor.
Sure. I was kind of one of those that didn't really hop on the bandwagon. Uh, I didn't really. I guess there's just something with me about like the cockiness, arrogant. Like I'm not saying like I'm the most humble guy, but like I kind of prefer maybe the humbleness over the ego and arrogance. But as he kind of progressed, I found myself really enjoying him and just being able to really respect and enjoy his time that he's had so far in the UFC. And I think we can all. I want to touch on this just a little bit too in a minute, but um, he changed UFC forever. I mean, UFC was never as big as it was whenever he first came in, and it sucks that he got complacent and once he became double champ, and then he kind of went downhill. But I really found myself hurt. I was hurt for him when he broke his shin bone against
Oh yeah,
Justin Poirier, and it shouldn't have ended like that. I think they deserve another fight. I don't think it'll happen, but in order for him to fight Chandler here, he has to I don't know if our viewers have seen him on social media or not, but man, that dude is massive, and
Yeah,
Huge.
he has
he's
come out and said, "Yeah, I'm on that, you know, whatever steroids, whatever the hell he's taking." But he has to be. I saw that he has to be clean for 6 months before the fight. So whenever that fight is, it's said to happen this year. If that's December, then he has to be clean from June from now on. So we'll see kind of how he fares out with all of that because I can't imagine being that big and he has to go back down to what is it 170. I mean he has to be 215 right
yeah. I
now.
mean,
But
it's gonna be a brutal like transition. I
but
mean,
yep, I think it's awesome that he's getting back out there with his titanium shin bone and kind of see how he fares. But for all our UFC fans out there, let us know what you guys think. None of us are experts by any means. I enjoy watching it. I know a little bit about it. That's why we're only talking about the main event because I don't know anybody else really on the
yep,
card.
same.
So let us know what you guys think. If you think our predictions are right. If you think maybe Volkanovski pulls it out.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate all the insight. Definitely definitely good to know. So yeah, I think we'll go into a little bit of betting now. Let me go ahead and say I did end up getting the job with the LSU football team. I joined their player personnel staff. Uh, I am now working for them. I guess it's technically part time since I'm only working 20 hours a week. But per NCAA guidelines, I cannot do any sports betting. So I don't sports bet. I will not do any sports betting. I don't talk sports betting. I will hand it over to Jacob, where he will talk about this, and I will not be saying anything. So, Jacob, go ahead.
Well, um, I kind of took a break this last week, honestly. I'm not a huge gambler to start off with. Now in the sports gambling world, I feel like it's kind of fun, or sports betting, I should say. I don't like saying gambling. It makes me feel like a degenerate. But I will say, down here in Central Texas, we had quite the winter storm hit. So the last of my worries this week was keeping an eye out on bets and looking at the latest prize picks and all that stuff. So I mean, again, I haven't really had a whole lot of time to look betting wise or just in general. I would say just still kind of going based off of last week. I think the Chiefs are not the easy pick, right? But I would still go Chiefs. I think they'll win the game by 7 or 10 points. That's where I'm.
17.
That's where I'm sitting. I think 10 is that sweet spot, where they're up by a drive. Eagles don't quite get the drive. They go down. Butker hits the field goal, put them up 10. That's kind of the way I see it. What you call?
The same man. There's not really too much to really bet on. Um, you have NBA really going full force right now, but it's kind of hard to get if you were trying to bet money lines, over unders, all that kind of good stuff. It's kind of hard to get a line out
Especially like a
in
week in advance.
advance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to take it day by day. So, haven't been doing too much betting myself, but if I had to give our viewers a money parlay, take all my NBA pick'em picks,
Oh,
throw them things in
interesting.
a parlay, add Islam winning to that parlay, and then for the little cherry on top, put the Eagles on there. Bang,
Interesting.
make you
Hmm,
some money.
hmm. Also, as a disclaimer, the NBA pick'em is not for money; it's just for fun.
Facts. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, but that being said, I think that we're all kind of on the same page. If you want to go ahead and give our Twitter a follow. Um, yeah, I believe it's just JCKN around. Um,
Yep.
and then yeah, if we ever throw something down, it'll definitely get thrown on there as well. Um, I would say if it's me or Kyle throwing one down, do not
Good
follow
luck.
us. Yeah.
Good luck.
No, just go opposite. Win you some money.
We'll have some coming up here. I'll post one maybe Saturday morning, Friday evening, around there. Maybe with a UFC kind of on underdog, which is an over under. You can kind of bet on significant strikes, takedowns, all that kind of stuff. So I may throw one out there with that, and then look out for Sunday as well for the Super Bowl. I think me and Jacob could probably put one together. We may just get together and do that one, but definitely expect something maybe Saturday and definitely Sunday.
For sure, yeah. I think
They,
that's
they,
Super Bowl's easy one. Easy
yeah.
money.
All right. All right. Thank you guys. I appreciate the betting for the viewers. Appreciate the betting. NCAA, I do not bet. I'm not going to bet. Please don't do any infractions on LSU. And this is how we always end it. Rest in peace, Nick. He's not getting back on. His Wi-Fi is all screwed up, so it's just gonna have to be S3 for Jacob's surprise topic. So Jacob, I look forward to this one every week. I mean, the first two have been great. Or first three technically. First podcast didn't actually get recorded. Can't let you forget that. I always enjoy this final topic. So what do you got for us this week, man?
So I went again. We covered a similar topic actually in the now failed podcast, as well as the very first podcast official that actually made it on the air. Whenever we were talking about our favorite Marvel movies, things like that. So my question this week. So I went a little wild week one. Went kind of crazy. Last week, kind of got a feel of the typical like kindergarten question. What's your favorite animal? But this week, I'm riding with, what's your dream superpower? Everything's on the table. You can be as specific as you want, as extreme as you want. I don't care. We're having fun, right? I can go first to give you guys a second to think.
Okay.
I think so first off, I'll give you my thought process. I think flying is amazing. I think it's overrated. I think invisibility is cool, overrated. Super strength, cool, overrated. But where I think is probably one of the coolest ones in my opinion, I'm really tied between two. I'll give you my thought process on both. One, I really like, it's in The Boys, if you've watched The Boys. It's also in the Marvel universe. The ability to be able to shrink, as well as if you're able to expand. And like Ant-Man, as well as the one character in can't remember his name in The Boys. He had an interesting scene to say the least. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. That'd be cool to be able to do. Not for that reason, but just in general, it'd be cool. You're basically going invisible, but you're just running around a little tiny, or you can be super strong just because you're massive, right? But I think where I would go is I would go telekinesis. I think telekinesis would be cool, because even if you think about it, you could telekinetically pick yourself up and fly. So it's kind of a little loophole.
Yeah, you stole mine. Now I gotta find something different.
You can do it too, but I mean, shout out to Jack Black. Shout out to Jack Black. I don't know if y'all listen to much Jack Black, and Tenacious D. You could, if you have mind bullets, that's telekinesis. So, shout out Jack Black. If you ever want to listen to that, got Wonder Boy. Give it a listen. Pretty good. Who wants to go next? I know I tried to stall. I really did. That was my point of going.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Anybody
I'll go ahead. Yeah, right. I think I'll go ahead. Like you said, man, I don't want to be basic. I think super strength is crazy. I don't think flying is really overrated because like I can get to places in a jiffy. I hate driving, so that would be awesome.
You could easily just like run super fast. That'd be
true,
faster
but
than
that's
flying.
running. I don't want to run. I don't run, obviously.
I feel you.
So, yeah. Man, I think I'm gonna keep it somewhat. I think you kind of went in depth a little bit. I think I'll go with like whatever Doctor Strange does, whatever you call that,
Like
wizardry, maybe
Sorcerer Supreme.
Sorcerer Supreme type. I can do whatever I kind of really want. I can fly already. I have a magic cape. I want to be Doctor
So
Strange.
okay.
Yeah, that would be everything he has. That's what I want. So.
Fair enough. I'm kind of going down the same line as you, Kyle. I don't know like a specific power, but whatever the hell Spider-Man got, I want that. I mean, he's a genius. I mean, if you know anything about Spider-Man, he has super strength.
But
He just
he didn't
chooses
get
like,
the genius aspect from the spider. He just was a
yeah,
genius.
fair enough, fair enough.
So you would
Maybe
have to
it'll give
already
me
be a
the
genius. I'm not saying you're not.
maybe it'll give me like maybe it'll make me into a genius. I don't know. Maybe if I'm just different.
Hopeful thinking,
Um,
wishful thinking. There we go.
yeah. I mean, the ability to climb walls, super strength. I mean, I just think that'd be sick to have all the powers of Spider-Man.
Be able
I
to
mean,
shoot web out of your wrist.
yep,
Yeah, yeah,
that'd be really
sure.
cool too. Being able to swing around cities and stuff. That'd be kind of useless in Montana, but it'd
So
be all right.
I'm gonna use this pin here, all right, and I'm gonna burst your bubble. And you kind of just named about three superpowers. So I
To
kind
be
of
fair,
want
you
you
did
to
too.
break
To
it
be fair,
down.
you did
You
too.
did
Oh,
too.
I want to do like the sorcery thing,
But you said you also have a
okay,
cape.
okay,
You also have
okay,
this.
none of that.
Also.
You're right. That's on me.
Okay,
That's
I
on me.
just want to get
I
bit
want
by the same radioactive spider Spider-Man did.
I just
Okay.
want the things with the hands. Like that's pretty cool. I can like
Yeah,
open up. I can open up something. Like if I want to go to the Dirty G, Giddings, Texas, I can just pull my
Why would
hands
I
you
don't know
go
why
together,
there?
the
make
I
a
don't know why the
portal.
fuck you want to
Because
go
all my
there.
friends live there. Sorry, if I want to go visit you guys.
Technically
Well,
not.
whenever you're in
Dude,
there,
I
when you're
live in
there,
Baton Rouge. What do you
when
mean?
you're there, Colton, I just wanted to give the Dirty G a shout out
I
for all
Appreciate
of our
respect
it.
it.
viewers.
I appreciate it. Honestly,
I drove through Hempstead on Sunday.
The Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of land, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's great. I mean I never actually went into the town. I just took 290.
You
But
should, bro. It would change your life forever.
yeah, I'm good.
Are,
I've played basketball at Hempstead before. I'm good. I didn't
is
know what the
there
town
any
was.
local food spot Hempstead wise that you want to give a little shout out to? Anything? Got anything?
Man, the McDonald's out on 1488. It's about all we got, dude. Nah, I'm
Dang.
playing. There's a little we Hempsteadians, whatever you call it, whatever you want to call it. We call it the taco bus. So
Okay.
it's literally you come in through Highway 6 from College Station. You just keep driving until you see a taco truck, and that's
Interesting.
it. That's it.
Nice.
That's the move. It's
Think
better than anything Giddings has
That's
yeah, it's
to offer.
bullshit. That's
that's
cap.
BS.
That's so
Chihuahuas
cap.
is
That's so wild.
overrated. Thank you, Cam,
Oh my
for exposing me to that.
So here, let me
Um,
ask you a question. Whenever
you
you
are
had Chihuahuas, did you
crazy.
have it at Chihuahuas?
Took it to go.
Okay.
That's a problem.
So it
That's
just
a bad restaurant. If your food can't be the same to go as it is there,
not
I
to,
ate it
okay, but
as
How
soon as
long
I
did you
got it.
wait?
As soon as I got
How
it, I
long
ate
did
it.
you wait to eat it?
As soon as I got in the car, I opened that taco
what'd
up,
you
put my
get?
car in
What'd
drive,
you
and was
get?
driving.
What'd you get? What'd you get?
So I got barbacoa, right? I don't know if you guys like barbacoa. It is
I like
an
both.
It's
amazing
okay.
taco. It was. I thought I was gonna die from all the salt it had in it. I thought like I just needed to chug a gallon of water after it, and then Cam told me, "Hey, bro, get this beef fajita, egg, beans, whatever the hell else he did." Well, I'm a picky eater. I don't really care for onions and peppers and bell peppers and all that kind of stuff in there. So that kind of caught me
So
by
your
surprise.
opinion is
And not only
automatically
that,
invalid.
not only that, it just wasn't that great overall.
Bacon, egg, chorizo, um, cheese, potato. That's all you need. Get the number 8 with potatoes.
So
Literally all
I,
you need.
hey, real quick, just to give any of our listeners an idea of what we're talking about. So Kyle gave kind of a little thing about the taco bus, whatever.
Whatever the fuck
That's
that
their
is.
little thing. But if you
Yeah.
ever driving between Austin, Texas, and really College Station,
Yeah, it's
that's the
more
closest.
Houston.
Houston, yeah, that's true. Because college, yeah, that's true. So Austin and
Two
Houston
290.
on 290, come to a little town called Giddings, Texas. Yeah, that you'll. Well, it's no longer there. There used to be a old, rundown Ford dealership, but
Yeah.
got a little.
Before you get to the Whataburger, if you're coming
Yeah,
from
depending on which
Houston.
direction you're coming from.
Or no. No, Jesus.
It's pretty much across from the
these guys don't even know their own
McDonald's
town.
Taco Bell
If
area.
you're coming from Austin, it's on the left
Correct.
before you get to the Whataburger.
Long story short, they sell
Greatest breakfast tacos you'll ever eat.
and they call them breakfast tacos, but
They're big.
Like,
they're a burrito.
They're more like a
Um,
burrito. Yeah.
And they're delicious. Whatever Kyle wants to say. You got their green sauce is amazing, and it's like $4 for a burrito that'll fill you up for hours. So, Yeah,
It's amazing, and it's cheap too. It's very affordable.
it's delicious. But yeah, I mean, Chihuahuas definitely is better than the Taco Bus, in my opinion, of course.
Oh,
You never had it.
absolutely.
You never had it.
That's true.
I don't need to have it.
You
I
need
don't
to
need to
have
have
it.
it.
Yes, you
No, I
do.
don't.
They're not. I will say they're not as big as
Ah,
Chihuahuas, maybe. So that is kind of their little downfall. But
see,
I'm taking.
Caldwell's got a spot like that too. It's a little hole in the wall place. Amazing breakfast tacos. Not quite as good as Chihuahuas, but it's right there. They're also not as big, so you get like three or four of them.
We'll have to do a live
So good.
stream from Giddings, Texas, and at Chihuahuas. Kind of get
Mm.
them some branding out there, some marketing out there for them, and then we can have a little a taste review.
And
Yeah,
also
dude.
Shout out.
shout out Joe's Bakery in Austin. Joe's
Oh
Bakery is
yeah,
delicious.
Joe's man.
Never
Oh,
had that though.
so
It's
good.
yummy.
Alrighty, that I think that's gonna go ahead and wrap up episode 3. Appreciate all the follows and all the views and comments that we've been getting so far. Just want to thank y'all for listening, man. I really appreciate everything y'all do. Appreciate talking to y'all every day. Uh, every time it's always interesting. Y'all definitely got me worked up there with the Celtics part. That was definitely y'all's little plan. It
Nah,
worked, but yeah. Thank you to everybody who's listening. Check back in next week for episode 4, which will be after the Super Bowl. Have all different kinds of stuff to talk about. After I go 5-0 this week in NBA Pick'em. So yeah. Uh, see y'all later. See y'all on Monday.